Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 5 in our Bedrock Realm series. We are working at our skeleton spawner today. I have done quite a bit here, so I'm going to show you what I got done working on this week, and then we're going to do some more work to get this thing set up to be functional. So this room used to be much smaller. I expanded it out, and we had started working on that in the last episode so that it went out farther. I kind of cleaned the walls up and put some lighting around. The goal in the end is just to have a lot of space so that I can do work for like redstone projects and stuff for sorting and stuff around here. I may even need to go a little bigger in some areas, but it was just kind of give us a blank slate. I changed a few things around with the spawner just to make it so that it's glass on all the sides. It's all tinted glass so that the spawner can work properly. I had a column of tinted glass on top, and I saw in a video that I was watching a while back, I think it was Silent Whisper that was talking about it, but he said one thing you can do on Bedrock is if you put an air block above the spawner and then another one above the glass above that, that makes it so that the skeletons can spawn on top of the spawner. It kind of just did right there, you can see. And they'll spawn in that open space, but since the glass is there, it pushes them out right away. And so it just slightly increases the efficiency. After playing around with this, I think that there's some more we could do to make it slightly more efficient by lowering the water floor on the bottom, and I may do that at some point because that would be a change that would be pretty easy to do. But for now, we're going to go with what we have. Down here, I have just a pathway to get, for now, to the on-off switch. So if we turn this light here on, it disables the spawner because that whole room is lit up just enough that the skeletons won't spawn. If we want skeletons, then we turn it back off. I'm going to run that redstone into the farming area at some point. But our first step is just to make it so that we can use the farm manually like we were in the past. So skeletons land over here. They are basically one-hit kill. Takes 2 hits to kill most of them. But you can sit here with your tools and just smack away to repair. And that's the goal here. And then there's just a chest underneath. It's all very basic for the time being, but it's functional. I redirected the water so that it goes up to the top and it comes over here so that I can have a nice little space here to build our area out. Down at the bottom of the room, I slabbed the floor so that slimes would stop spawning, because this whole room is basically a slime spawner. At some point in the future, I may actually lower this floor down and make a slime farm underneath. That way, when you're here using the skeleton farm, you would actually collect slime balls at the same time, which would be kind of cool. But for now, it's slabbed so we don't have slime spawning everywhere and driving us crazy. All of this up here is just leftovers from... This is just the stuff I collected as I was digging and things like that. And then I have my little auto furnace system over here for cooking things up. Pretty simple. Using the extra bows as fuel just to get rid of them. Pretty standard. And so this will continue to spawn skeletons. They'll get pushed down and then brought up. In the future, I do want to make it so that we can redirect this water stream so that the skeletons get taken to the other parts of the farm that I want to do, like the auto killing system and things like that. But for now, I just wanted to get it rebuilt because this area that I'm working underneath is shared by me and Gunna, and I wanted her to have a nice close pace where she could come just to repair her tools using mending without having to travel all the way across the map. So I want to finish decorating this area. I want to put in an enchanting area. I want to put in a elevator from the surface down and back up again, and then that'll be it that I'm going to do for now, and then we'll add on to this project as we go forward. So I'll be back once I get some layout figured out for where I want the enchanting stuff and where I want to put in the elevator. Probably going to be on this side, maybe up on one side, down on the other, and then the enchanting room back here. But we'll get it all laid out, and then we'll start cleaning it up, making it look nice.
Worked out a couple of things in my layout that I like, and a couple of things that I don't like. First of all, I was having issues with the skeletons. Every once in a while, were dying on impact and I had this set up the way I had it before. I'm not quite sure why. They might be taking a little tick of damage down in this chamber where they wait for the next one to push them or something like that. Doesn't make sense to me, but something was causing it so every once in a while, and it wasn't very common, but one of them would die on impact, and I don't want that. So I lowered that section up there down. That's what this scaffolding that I built is for me to get up around there to do it. The other thing I changed is I raised this up so that there's a stair that pushes you up in here. There's a couple things here that I did to make this system work. One is I have these two trap doors here. So this one on the bottom you can put down so that you can access this hopper in case you need to, if this system gets full and something's stuck in there or whatever. But mostly it's just there for aesthetics and to make it so that you can't walk all the way up to the hopper. When you could, you would get really close and then the skeletons could see you, and then that would happen. Basically, one of the skeletons targeted you, he started shooting, and all the other skeletons, since they were one-hit kill, would die because the arrows hit them. Now, I haven't been able to trigger it with that trapdoor there. That little bit of distance that it keeps you away from, it makes it so they can't see you. And then the second trapdoor is mostly just for aesthetics, but also there are certain angles where you stand when I was working where these skeletons could see me and they would try to shoot at me. So I just closed this. Now they can't see me no matter what. Their line of sight is completely gone. But in normal use, this one stays open. You'll go stand up here. You can do your thing. Get your XP to repair stuff, and you're all good. And then I have obsidian all around it, including up above, just in case you're in a weird angle when you're doing something for some reason. That way you don't accidentally break any bricks. You can, you know, swing your pick pretty much till your heart's content and not worry about breaking the bricks behind. And then finally there's a trapdoor here, and that's to give just a little bit more height so that the skeletons don't die when they land. That little bit of distance is just enough to save them. So I've been watching it for a while. I haven't seen any skeletons die on impact, so that's fixed. Now, the bad news. I lined this up. This one is lined up with this edge here. And then I was thinking on the other side, I would line it up so that this one is lined up with the wall. Because when I play on Java, these rooms are even numbered inside. Because Java is a little bit different with the spawning mechanics, and I forgot about it. But so doing that, that now means that the space between here and here is an even number. And the only reason that matters is because enchanting table is an odd number. And so if I put the enchanting table there where I have it, we're going to end up with this pillar here, and then a space, the enchanting table, and then on this side, this pillar here is here, and there's no space between the enchanting table. And it's not the end of the world, but it just kind of throws it off and makes it look a little funky. So I haven't decided quite yet what I'm going to do. I might move the enchanting setup to go over on this side, because over here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 technically there. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks wide, so I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this would be access to the ladder here, and then this, since it's a glass block, it still kind of looks better. I think it'll look better over there. And the reason I was thinking that is that I could put my elevator up and down over here to get to the surface, because I want to put an access directly into the skeleton farm there. The other thing to note is that this whole area here is all inside the range of the spawner. So all the time I'm standing here, all the time we've been talking, skeletons keep spawning. That way, if you're just sitting here and you're doing your enchants or you're doing whatever, the skeletons keep coming. That's by design. So, in that few minutes of talking, we got a decent amount of them there. And get some repairs done. Last thing to show you right now is eventually I'm going to be putting a sorting system in, but for now I just put an overflow down here where all the stuff flows down from the top, and until I get the sorting system worked out. I love how the XP lines up in a row when it comes out of the off the edge there. It's funny. But for now, that'll hold some, and I can sort it out and manually dump it. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with that, because I'm going to have different areas where the skeletons die at, because when I set it up for the auto kill chamber, that'll be somewhere else. I'll probably want to direct all the drops into the same place so that they can get sorted, and I want to have access to them so that you can grab them while you're down in the skeleton farm. Those are all things to work out at a later date. For now, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with the enchanting table and make my access from the surface down, and then continue working on decorations. I moved the enchantment table. It was over here, now it's over here. And just looking at it, I can tell I already like it better. It just, even though this is also not quite this, an odd space, because this is going to be glass sticking out, it doesn't block it as much. So really there's a space here, and then there's the 5 for the enchantment table, and then there's another space on this side. So when I'm done, I'll be putting a block here that blocks off the ladder, or I might move the ladder. I'm not even sure if that's still going to be there, but this will be closed off, and then this side will be closed off. And even though this glass sticks out, since it's glass, it doesn't block the view, so this looks just nice and even on that side. I also raised everything up so that I can have the light under the enchantment table, because originally I was going to have like slabs here so that nothing could spawn, but then I was thinking that would block our ability to do the, actually it doesn't seem to do it on here. Maybe Bedrock is different. Let's check and see if I can get a level 30 enchant. It'd be interesting to know. I can still do a level 30 enchant even with the slabs in there. On Java, if you have slabs blocking that, that won't work. That's interesting. Kind of like the way that this looks with the enchanting table halfway sunken in. Let's change that around. The question is, do I want that to be... Here, let me go grab... We'll do this together. Andesite. Can I make stairs out of andesite? I can. I could do... stairs like this. That would kind of give it like a step up to it. The lights, I think the light still goes through because of the transparent blocks, but either way it'll be fine. Everything is slabs or stairs down here. And that looks really nice. You can see the whole enchantment table, but from up above, it's half. And that does work. On Java, that would definitely not work. So that might be something we have to adjust later if they change it in a parity update. But I like that. I'm going to fill in this side here to put a wall. And then over here is where I'm going to put the elevator that goes up and down to get us back to the surface. And then we'll close that in. And I think that'll be pretty much it for the structure of the place. And then we just have to worry about decorations. The floor is definitely going to be changed out with different blocks. This was just to have slabs here so I didn't have slime spawning while I was working. And I'll have to figure out how I want to close it in. And how much I want to leave open. I definitely want to have this open so you can see inside the spawner. A, I like that, and B, I asked Gunn if she said she really liked that too, so we're definitely going to keep that. This stuff up here will get moved once I'm finished. It's kind of like my little work area for right now. I just have all my storage and crafting and my furnaces up there. The geode eventually will get used, so I kind of like the fact that I can see that from down here, because once I automate that farm and decorate it, you'll be able to see it from the skeleton farm, which is kind of cool. I'll also have to decide if I'm going to have access to that from here, or if I'm going to have another way down from the top. I may come down from the top. So I think the next thing I'm going to work on is getting our access from the surface down here. I have to decide, do I want that to be over here, or do I want to put it on this side? I'm thinking I might do this side, because over here is probably where I would put the other kill chamber for the auto kill chamber. That way, it would make it easier for all the drops and everything to get directed into the same place. And the reason I'm having a manual spot and an auto spot is so that I can have it so that, because with the auto kill with the tridents, it won't work to give you XP if you kill them with a trident, unless you're the one with the trident. So I'm thinking I might actually do 2 trident killer systems here. And then I can just have a switch in the middle of it, and one will say Gunnif and one will say Ender, and then when I'm here I can switch it to mine. They'll get dropped into my killing system. You can drop in the other one. I can also design a trident farm that you swap out the trident, but I don't want to do that. I want it to be set up. So basically it would be Gunnif could have an AFK spot where she can get the XP while she's just standing. I could have one, and then if anybody else comes down here, they would be able to do them manually, and then all the drops would all go into the same storage system underneath. The other thing that I have noticed, and let's see if I can see this happen while I'm in here. When the skeletons spawn, the max skeletons that you can get from a spawner in any spawn attempt is 4. And I've seen lots of 4s happen from the spawner. And there's time in between them so you won't get any spawns, and then all of a sudden you'll get a spawn. I've seen them have 4, but they're not getting 4 every time. Which means it's not getting 100% efficiency. So like right there I got 3. And then, so sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 3, sometimes I've even seen 2. And so I was just doing some testing to figure out what might be causing that, and looking up on like the wiki and stuff like that. The one thing I noticed, and I confirmed this, is that, and see there we got 4, so it hit the max efficiency. The spawner, when you build a spawning cage on Bedrock, or not on Bedrock, on Java, the cage centers on the northeast corner, and then it's 4 blocks in one direction, 3 blocks in the other. And so it's an 8x8 room, and then it's 2 blocks down and 2 blocks above is where they can spawn. In Bedrock, they have it different. The spawning is a 9-block area, so it's 4 blocks in every direction from the spawner on the x-axis and the y-axis. I think it's also 4 blocks on the z-axis, so up and down. And so I think that while there are 4 blocks of space there, I think if I expand the room to go 2 blocks higher, and then the water collection to go a couple of blocks down, it might increase our efficiency. So I think that I might try to do that and see if we do in fact get a little bit more efficiency. It's not a huge deal. We still get plenty of skeletons, but if we can get a couple more each time it spawns, that'd be great. You know, it'll be even faster. So I may work on that, but I think first I want to get this elevator for our players to get in from the surface done first. So we'll be back after we get that done. In order to finish up our elevator down to the skeleton farm, I needed some ice. So I thought I would show you why I haven't built an ice farm yet. We're over here at the Guardian farm,
And I built it in this ice spike biome. And the reason I did that, well, one of the reasons I did that is I can just get crazy amounts of ice by just taking off the top layer of ice and picking it all up. So I've been here for like 30 minutes, and so far I have collected this chest full of ice, this chest full of ice, this chest I started. I got some blue ice. So yeah, I have no need for ice for a long time. And every time I do it, I slowly get rid of one of the layers of ice and get rid of the water on the outside of the farm, which was my goal. So eventually, I will have collected all this ice and then I'll build an ice farm, but probably not going to happen for a very long time. I recorded a clip showing off the final work here at the skeleton farm last night, and it was kind of nice because Gunnif was here. She gave me some input and she was in the clip and everything, and unfortunately I did not have my mic on the right settings, and so it sounded really tinny when I went to edit the video this morning to upload it, and so I have to re-record it. So I'm here to show you exactly what I finished. And so our floor was the gray palette that I came up with to try to give it some brightness. And then I used spruce for all the walls. I like the spruce beams. They kind of make it look interesting. And, you know, I went with a room that I wanted to be able to go up to see the skeletons going up and coming down. I didn't go all the way up so you can see them going across the top because I thought the room would be too big. I think it came out okay. I still need to do some finishing touches with like framing in behind the glass. I'll probably bring over the chiseled stone on this side as well. And then on the spawner itself, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the back walls and the roof and the floor. Right now you can see through to the area behind it, but I might make you know, that area is out there for redstone kind of stuff relating to the farm or other things, and I might leave it open so you can see it depending on how it goes, or I might change out the glass on the side walls and stuff with a solid block just to give it a finished look. I haven't quite decided yet. You can see my workshop up there is still here because I am not quite done with this farm. I have some more projects we're going to come back to, but we're done with it for today. As far as our elevator goes, we have a drop chute here that you can drop down from the top really easily. And then this took me a little bit of time to figure out. Originally, I had solid blocks here, and then pressure plates on top to stop the water because that's how I would normally do it. But I didn't like the way it looked. And also, when you stepped on the pressure plate, if you went from the side, it caused this trapdoor to close because of the redstone signal. And so then you'd get stopped and it would mess up with your things. So you had to go right in from the middle. Then I remembered on Bedrock, you can use buttons to stop water flow. And those are so seamless, you can barely tell they're there unless you're looking. So from the side, like they're not very noticeable. And so that's really cool. So you can just walk in here and go up really easily. You get light in here because we're close enough to the conduit from our lagoon. And then inside here, this is the drop chute to go back down. Inside here is just, I'm showing it off a little before I want to. This is our entranceway. I wanted to make it so that it was clear what kind of farm this was from a distance. Let me sleep here quick if I can. Of course not. But fortunately, our command block system is one where I can just jump on the bed to make it daytime. That will get replaced soon when we do the new game rule. But here is our skeleton. So you can definitely tell that that's a skeleton farm. I particularly like how it is embedded into the ground, so it looks like it's something that's been unearthed. I'm probably going to do some more tweaking, doing some plants and decorations around here, but I could probably tweak it forever. So I'm going to stop for now, and we'll do some more, and Gunnif can help with some of the gardening too. She's really good at that. So I think that'll make it look good, and that is our skeleton farm. Also, while I was working on that, Gunnif decided to spruce up our portal coming in, so I thought I'd show that off here too, since now that's finished. I think she did a really fantastic job with everything. It's nice and lit up, so we don't have to worry about creepers and stuff being spawned right there, right as we come in through the portal. And I think she did great. So we're going to do some more work here on another episode. We'll be here for a few more episodes, but the next project I'm going to work on, now that we have the skeleton farm up and working so we can do repairs here, is to work on the hot air balloon. I've been putting that off for a very long time, and I have gotten a little bit of work done on it recently, but not much. If we can see it from down here, the view distance is kind of off on the horizon until you get right to the edge, but you can see I did the bottom funnel of the hot air balloon. Now I just need to actually build the balloon and then the basket underneath for that to be finished. But that'll be the project we work on in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed watching today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.